Season 49, war number 10, and we are up against NXT. This time I think will be Toad, White Tiger and Kate Bishop. We'll be taking Path 1 in Section 1, Path 5 in Section 2, and then I will be taking a Kate Bishop, Gorr, Corvus Glaive, Adam Warlock and Bullseye mini-boss, along with a Photon boss using Kate Bishop. Photon boss was a bit of a surprise, haven't seen one of those in a while, and I will be using Kate Bishop for it. Was considering Mantis, but I kinda needed Kate for a few other things. Now starting off here we have a Wolverine Weapon X on the personal space regeneration node, and I will be taking the fight with White Tiger. Now White Tiger doesn't have anything to deal with the Unstoppable on this guy, but she does have the bleed to shut down any healing on the opponent, and that is essentially all I need. Now that basically means this is just a basic Weapon X fight. The regeneration is gonna do nothing except feed Mystic Dispersion, well, after the special 2 bleed nullifies them, and that's honestly just about it. Now this fight is still a very scary one, since Weapon X can hit very hard, and he's extremely aggressive while the rage is active. Now 2 special 2s and the fight is almost over, and naturally I just have to get clipped at the very end of the fight, so I can't even regen it all back. And that is just a great start for this war and shows what's to come. Now a quick potion and on to the next fight, since, well, I will be taking that with White Tiger as well, instead of Toad, who I would probably normally use. So here we have a Kingpin on the Masochism Overtime node, and I'm using White Tiger over Toad, namely mainly due to the fact that I can just abuse Mystic Dispersion, and White Tiger doesn't have any debuffs on her basic attacks, so I don't really have to worry about the Masochism all that often. Now Toad is still able to nuke this fight down relatively easily with the poisons and the special 1 spam, but White Tiger with her special 2 spam should be able to do just the same, and well, I didn't really have any other reason not to use Toad. I just felt like using White Tiger since I already had the Mystic Artifact boosters active anyways. 1 special 2 and the guy is below 50%, second one in, and this bleed alone will be enough to finish him out with a full yellow bar. Fight lasted just around 50 seconds or so, no issues there, his AI wasn't being too annoying, he was actually throwing specials, and I didn't have any trouble keeping up the tactic prowesses. Then next up we have a Nova on the Event Flow Intercept and Sadist nodes, and I will be taking this fight with White Tiger as well, only due to the fact that he is a tactic defender. Normally I would use Kate Bishop here, but since she's not a tactic champ I can't really do that, so White Tiger it is. Now this matchup isn't exactly too difficult, but as you might have seen in the previous war against LDT, I had some trouble against a Nova on a different node using White Tiger, so I was a little hesitant in taking this one, but I didn't really have a choice. The paths for my team weren't really all that great, so it was the best we could really do. Now of course I have to just get hit by the end of the special 1 there trying to parry it, but that's fine. The fight is essentially over now, and all I gotta do is just hit him a few times and that should do it. Went ahead and next the last one just in case, avoiding any last bit of chip damage there. I had enough tactic prowess to deal with the indestructibles, so I could afford to lose one. And down he goes. This time wasn't a disaster like the previous one. Then we have a Destroyer here on the Event Flow Intercept and Mighty Judge nodes, and I will be taking the fight with Kate Bishop. I do have an advanced power boost active to get me that first special 1 early, since this fight is a race against the clock. Essentially you gotta nuke him down before he gets his passive power gain. If you can't do that, you're in trouble. However, with Kate Bishop's parry evade counter hit counting as an intercept if done against the opponent dash attack, This ebb and flow node basically just boosts your special 1 cold snap damage output, allowing you to just nuke the fight down without any bigger problems. Now, even though the dash attack of the destroyer is unstoppable, the stun from the evade counter hit will still stun him, so you don't get punished at all when doing so. Makes Kate Bishop a very strong option against him in general. And then we have a Kate Bishop on the power snack and 1 too many hits mini boss node, and I'm taking the fight with White Tiger, once again utilizing her immunity to nullify so that the power snack node will never trigger. Then again, Kate Bishop is a tactic defender, so that is also dealt with. Now the only real issue here left is the 1 too many hits node, giving me that power sticking debuff here and there. But honestly, the damage on it isn't too bad, and you could potentially just ignore it and throw your specials regardless. The specialty with bleed debuff does allow you to steal some of the opponent's healing, so yeah, you can heal maybe not all of the power sting damage back, but a lot of it at the very least. And now against Kate Bishop you really do want to dex the arrow hits, especially since you really don't want to deal with the arrow effects. If you get a cold snap on you, that's gonna melt you really quickly. So you're just gonna have to let the tactic process fall off by dexing the hits. But other than that, just you keep a nice stack of them, you can parry her without any issues and punish her without fearing a counter evade, and that makes the fight very simple to take. Then next up we have the fight that I am referring to in the title of the video. We have a Gorr on the Burden of Might and High Energy Diet mini-boss node, and I'm taking the fight with White Tiger. Being overconfident as I am in this matchup, I went in without realizing my advanced power boost had fallen off, and that means this fight just became infinitely more difficult, or rather annoying, to manage. So essentially, you really need to get that first specialty off early before you dex a single time, otherwise the Mighty Judge node will be a problem. Not Mighty Judge node, the Burden of Might, sorry, I'm a bit tired when recording this, but regardless. So when you start getting power drained by the Burden of Might node, that is when this fight becomes difficult, to say the least. Now essentially, if I can't get to my special 2, I can't shut down the healing, and I can't really cycle any specials, and I'm gonna be sitting here for a while. Every single time I dex, I run into the same issue. The reason why I need to dex is because of the unblockable the opponent gets whenever they gain 10 regeneration effects, and since I can't shut down the healing here in any way or prevent it, he's gonna be unblockable for basically the entire fight. So yeah, you can probably see my issues here. Realizing my own downfall, I guess, here, I tried to dance around and let the... I can't exactly remember the buff's names here expire on the opponent, feeding Mystic Dispersion to get to my special 2, and I did, but when I tried to intercept with the special 2, Gorr just immediately started holding block as soon as he could and blocked the whole thing. So once again, I'm in trouble. I gotta watch out and not get cornered, because if I do, then the tactic indestructibles will be an issue. And, well, as you can see, just not a great fight at all. Normally this fight takes like 20 seconds with the advanced power boost. I should have been more careful about that, but here we are. Once again, the Fury now expired, draining my power further. And then I triggered yet another dex trying to get away from him, and I'm in the same sort of trouble here. Then I get caught on a dashback, I'm pretty low, and that gives me another idea I can try here. Get pushed to 15% health on purpose to trigger the Sig ability power gain, utilize that to land your special 2s, and then heal back, well, at least some of the damage I have taken. At this point I don't care if I finish the fight at 1 health, as long as I finish the fight without dying, I'm happy. So I'm blocking some hits here, trying to drop myself to 15%, and I do. However, the power gain did not trigger. The reason for that is that this specific opponent here is running the Assassin's Mastery, and he failed my power gain with the defensive ability accuracy reduction. Fantastic. The only way out for me here that I could think of, and it gets failed due to RNG. Less than 2 minutes left in the clock. I still have a long ways to go, and he's just healing up whatever he can, whenever he can, and it's either looking like a timeout or a death on my part. Now, however, I am getting him pretty close to that 15% mark himself, which would still trigger the passive or the power gain buff of the SIG ability, and I do get him there. I just gotta land a special 2. I tried to go for an intercept first instead of trying to intercept with the special 2. Reason being, the last time I did so, he blocked it, and he gets or catches me on the intercept attempt with a special 1 and kills me. So essentially everything that could have gone wrong there did, and well, that is death number, well, at this point I don't even remember. Might have been 1, might have been 2 of the season. But either way, that is just a sad way to go. A matchup that I have taken many times and consider one of the better matchups for White Tiger in general, and I just mess it up due to not watching my boosts properly, and then the multiple times I could have saved myself, I failed to do so, either due to RNG or just skill issues, I guess. And yeah, that's just how it goes. If you're overconfident doing warfights, you are bound to get killed at some point. For me, however, well, this war wasn't probably the worst war to die in, but it still stings and I don't like it. Either way, on to the next fight. Here we have a Corvus Glaive on the Hazard Shift Incinerate and Poison miniboss node, and I'm taking the fight with Toad. Toad is not really a counter to Corvus Glaive at all, however, you don't need a counter for him. So essentially, the only real requirements I needed from my attacker here are that they are either immune to Incinerate or Poison, or have some other way around them, and then just, well, be a tactic champion to deal with the tactic Indestructible. And that's it. Toad fulfills 2 of those conditions. He's a tactic champion and poison immune, so essentially that's, well, a counter, so to speak. Not a great one, but it works. Game plan here is to just play around, dance around during the Incinerate phase to wait it out, and then during the poison phase, hit the opponent as much as possible, spam that special 1, stack up the prowesses, keep up the prowesses, and that's about all there is to it. If Corvus hits me, it's gonna be a crit. It has a great chance to trigger the passive regen on Toad, giving me a chance to inflict poisons on contact hits, and the regen itself should save me from dying of a single combo or so. But even then, I'm not gonna try that out. I'm just gonna finish him off with this special 1 here. Fight took a minute and a half, but it's not a difficult one at all. And if I were to die to that one, I would probably have to, well, not retire, but take a season off at least. And then we have an Adam Warlock here on the power efficiency and missing in action miniboss node, and I'm taking the fight with White Tiger as usual. I have the White Magneto pre-fight active to allow me to parry stun him even while the Sovereign buff is active, and then I went ahead and threw that Indestructible or Invulnerability boost on as well. As usual, game plan is to just push him to a special 3. If he uses it, and I will eat it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. And here he went ahead and used special 1, which is something that I don't want him to do, and that just complicates this fight a little bit. Now I got my special 2 here and I threw it, but I didn't have the passive precision active for it, so it didn't crit at all, and my Mystic Powerback boosts barely did anything. Again, that complicates things a little bit at the very least. Get another special 2, I do get some crits there. He's melting, but he also used a special 2 here, which saved him with the pod. Now his, I guess, passive pod timer is active here. Try to finish the fight off with a quick special 3, unlocking it with my heavy attack. He's left at 2%, so I go for a striker to finish it off. The pod triggers first, he survives at 5%, and now he's back to special 2. I go ahead and unlock my special 3 again with a heavy attack, throw it, and hope that this will be enough, which it will, using all the furies that I had active. Now once again, a fight that I'm very confident in at this point in time. It just didn't go according to plan at all, but at the very least I managed to salvage that one. Then we have the good old Bullseye on the stun reflection and polka dot power mini boss. Know that I'm taking the fight with Toad as usual. Game plan is to use an advanced power boost to get that early special 1 for ramp up, for damage, and an easy opening to get rid of the stun reflection with the poison debuff, and then also the brute force if necessary. So, I've explained this fight many times in the past, I'm not gonna go over the finer details. Essentially, I gotta watch out for brute force, gotta watch out for the stun reflection timer, hope that I line those passive poisons whenever possible, hope that my special ones crit, and if everything goes well, I won't die. Now, there are many things that can go wrong here, and has gone wrong in the past, but this time, well, Bullseye was being nice, and I did have some decent RNG on my passive poison conversions, and I end up actually soloing this one. Spoiler alert. I go for my striker here, and the passive poison takes him down, finish the fight with honestly a decent amount of health considering the fight, and Bullseye goes down. So I die to a Gorr, but not the Bullseye, which is just fantastic. Then here we have the final fight of the war, a Photon boss that I'm taking with Kate Bishop, and if you've seen me use Kate Bishop before, using her against Photon is very simple, and I'm not worried about it one bit. You could say that I'm overconfident once again. Now I start off with the cold snaps and the advanced power boost from the previous fight, drop the cold snap on and just try to get it to do as much damage as possible, as soon as possible. Game plan is to just get 2 of them up and try to keep them on as long as possible. However, the first one has already fallen off. I'm not really doing a great job at managing them here, but that's fine. Even just a single cold snap is enough to take the fight down relatively easily. But now, with those charges she has already on her, I'm trying to make her trigger the pure light form with a well-timed light whip as she dashes back. But she's just not doing it. She's being aggressive, not dashing back, and whenever she did, even with the light whip, she didn't start holding block. And that's new to me, I've never seen this happen, especially against Photon. And now, I'm pretty worried. She's in the pure light form with a special 1. I have to parry it, because if I don't, it's gonna be unblockable, and it's gonna hurt a ton, potentially even finishing me off at this point. So, yeah, the fight isn't looking too good. We are both melting very quickly here. Every single block hit is taking a good chunk of my health, and yeah, at this point I'm trying to salvage the fight. It's already gone wrong in so many different ways. But I'm still in it, and I'm not planning on dying a second time in the same war. Another special 1 here, got 2 cold snaps on, now I'm just trying to stall for time, baiting heavies into block, getting my striker here, and down she goes, finally. I'm down to 13%, and overall a fight that I was very confident in went horribly wrong a second or even a third time in this specific war. And it's kind of a miracle that I didn't die there, to be honest. But that said, the AI was doing some weird things that I hadn't seen before, which, yeah, I'm gonna use that as an excuse, but even then, that was weird. I don't know what else to say. As for the results, we did end up losing the war 8-10, so my death didn't exactly settle the deal, but it certainly didn't help, and this one does sting a bit.